Hello and welcome to the 2018 Cox Motor Parts Civic Cup, the first time out on the British Racing and Sports Car Club bill. We've got 32 cars, from Daniel Reason on the front of the grid to rookie Natasha Tressler down at the back, and Daniel Reason has a quarter of a second on the rest of the field. Impressive when you consider that the top 12 are covered by less than a second. And as you can see here at the Silverstone National Circuit, the rain has started to come out, so it's going to be a slippery circuit, 1.6 miles for 15 minutes. Richard John Neal, all yours, mate.
Daniel Reason, the man who set that pole position time then. As Jake said, Mark Grice alongside. Row 2, Lewis Rose and James Griffith. Row 3, David Vincent and Matt Bolton. On the fourth row, Dan Chapman with Chris Coomer. Then it's Rob Baker and Bruce Winfield. Daniel Hobson is next with Jason Ballantyne, last year's top rookie. Ben Sharp next with Paul Bancroft, Will Beach, Tim Evans, Paul Taylor and Martin Diel, row 9. Andy Hart and Rob Headley next from Simon Wallace and David Buki. Steve Laidlaw and Mark Hughes next from Oliver Withington and Mark Gibbons. Then Matthew Darlington and Craig Carter. Adam Kruger and Ollie Barsby next from Natasha Tressler, David Poyser and Aaron Sharp, completing a very strong grid. Green flag at the back of the field indicates that all is well with the entire 32-car grid here at Silverstone. The lights are on. Out go the lights and everybody away, which is great news. Everybody off the grid, this massive field, heading down into Copse for the first time. Daniel Reason in the black 77, the black and yellow 34 of Mark Grice. Second on the grid, the inside line here. Contact there! And that's Chris Coomer in the 55 car. Jason Ballantyne, the top returning rookie, went to the inside. Danny Hobson on the outside line, which is nearest camera. Bruce Winfield going through as well. But as they go into Beckett's the first time. Reason, Grice, Griffiths, Lewis Rose, then David Vincent in the white car with the green and red flashes. Big sort out, of course, to happen here on the opening laps. As Jake said, Daniel Reason qualified on pole position by 0.28 of a second, and it's Reason that leads. Close for third place, looking up the inside line is Vincent in the 75, and bang! Off they go, Vincent's off. James Griffith in red is off as well, and into the gravel. They're a fair way off. Now are they going to be beached? The marshals have got some work to do there, but drama on lap number 1 of the 2018 Cox Motor Parts Civic Cup. So it's all action from the word go. Daniel Reason, the race leader. Mark Grice second. Lewis Rose is third. Rest of the field still sorting themselves out. Waved yellows greeting the cars. Mark Gibbons mindful of that. He was looking at red 5 there. It's Mark Hughes, the man from Market Weighton. And I think coming up the inside line possibly is Martin Diel in the number 4. He certainly got a leery yellow and blue car as Martin, and in reality, of course, Mark Gibbons looking around the outside line. It is the number 4 car, Martin Diel, and now red 5's about to be passed by 1, 2, 3 Mark Gibbons. Easiest 1, 2, 3 was it perhaps around the outside. He really is finding the grip on the outside line and making progress. He's going to be working as hard as he can to get up as far up the grid as he can, because that's going to determine his grid position for race 2. These double-header meeting as here looks as if Grice was getting a little bit close here at the end of lap number 2 to Daniel Reason, but it's the man from Whitehaven in Cumbria that still leads this one. Daniel Reason, third in the championship last year, won at Brands Hatch in June, on board again with Mark Gibbons, looking to try and make some progress here. Can't overtake there. You saw the waved yellow flags on the right-hand side of your picture. And that's to deal with those 2 retirees, James Griffith and David Vincent. So they're both out of the race. About to head on to lap 3 here of Silverstone. Reckon that with the 15-minute time slot should go to 13, 14 laps perhaps. We'll see how it pans out. But as you can see, conditions very, very tricky indeed. And the man enjoying the best view is this man, 77, Dan Reason, who comes through in the lead, and the reason he's got the best view is that he won't have any spray until he gets into any backmarker traffic that he might happen across over the course of the race. Mark Grice running him close. Grice, who won here last year, also at Snetterton, Brands Hatch and Alton Park. There were a plethora of different winners, including Lee Deegan, who won the championship last year, one of many autograss drivers that have come over and raced in this formula, and they've absolutely loved it. Mark Grice, former autograss champion as well. Mark Gibbons still making progress. Yellow's still there, so he can't make a move here, but he's going to be looking for the green flag on the outside of the circuit to try and make a move and climb a little bit further up the order. And we'll try and keep tabs on how far he can go up the order as the race continues. I think this is Mark's, by my calculation, 15th start in the championship. Had a best last year of 5th position from 8 starts. The man ahead of this group is Will Beach, who is there. So Will having a good run and was knocking on the door of the top 10 last year. And he's got a little bit of a gap in this battle as David Buki there, the lead of those 2 cars, a former champion, Class B champion, when we ran 2 classes back in 2015 and 2016. He was tied on points with Andrew Hoff at the top of the Class B standings that year, but I think designated second, but did win the Class A championship in 2016 from Ben Sharp. And Chris Coomer, who we saw having that moment, who is back on track incidentally. Chris trying to work his way back through the field to recover from that incident going down into Copse Corner on lap number 1. So a little bit of history there for you about the championship, which now enters its 8th season, starting off back in 2011 when multi-champion Rich Hockley was the man to beat. Here we are with Gibbons again, still trying to close up, and goes to the outside line here of Simon Wallace, the man from Milton Keynes, having something of a home run and giving room. He's very much aware that Gibbons is on the outside line, but squeezing him a little bit. Gibbons having to work, goes off onto the curb just a little bit, still side by side, but Gibbons is finding the momentum. Is he going to be able to get that little bit more speed out of the corner? Still a great fight going on here with Simon Wallace. So Beach coming under pressure, and that's Rob Headley who's off. Rob Headley was trying hard to deal with Adam Beach and winds up beached in the gravel. That's going to be marshal power required again to get the number 11 car out of the gravel and possibly back to pits, maybe back into the race to get some consolation mileage out of this one. You can see the 1, 2, 3 car now clear of the 73 machine of Simon Wallace. So he's running well now, going down the straight. 137 is Natasha Tresler, as Jake mentioned, a rookie this year. Welcome to the championship, Natasha. And family-run team. Her dad, Neil, runs in the pickup truck racing championship, has run NASCAR Wheeling as well, Legends cars, and is helped by Neil, her dad, and her sister Larissa, her mum Margaret. Great family-run team. Love their racing. Good to see her on the grid here in Civic Cup. And good driving as well, keeping a line, allowing these drivers to go past. And Beach coming under pressure now as they go down, and waved yellows here. Of course, that's going to be for Rob Headley. So the yellow flag zone, I didn't catch on that last lap whether it was clear going into Brooklands or not, but on this occasion it's going to limit some of the overtaking. And there's the recovery going on of Rob Headley's car, and hats off to the marshals, the men and women in orange, who do such a great job in all weathers and getting the cars away to safety, which is fair play. This is, as I said, with the yellow flag zone, going to limit the progress here from Mark Gibbons, who's already made a fair bit of progress up from 26th position on the grid, but he's running well again. Lap 6, what's he going to do here? Looks down the inside line. Yellow flag there, very respectful of that. It's amazing how many drivers, when they get on a charge, just think about making the pass and, never mind the yellow flags. But very clearly Mark Gibbons knows what he's doing here. Gibbons now goes to the outside line again, so the outside of Will Beach in the 52 car, and let's see how much room Will's going to give him. Will actually gives him a little bit more room than Simon Wallace did on the previous lap, and you can see they're still side by side and across the line, and Gibbons has definitely got the edge and got the place now, gets across. Coming up in the mix as well is Dan Chapman in the 104 car. We saw him having a little bit of a wobbly moment as he tries to go around the outside line of Will Beach as well. He does the job, but there's a fair amount of space now ahead of the 1, 2, 3 car. So not sure how much more progress Mark Gibbons is going to be able to make, but he's done a sterling job so far, being chased by Dan Chapman in the 104. He's not been picked up on the timing screen particularly well, maybe having problems with the transponder, but I'm sure that will be sorted for race number 2. So there is Will Beach, qualified in 15th place. Just to put it in perspective, Beach qualified 15th, Mark Gibbons qualified 26th, so he's likely to be the highest charger through the grid on this race. And now the 52 car coming under pressure from Simon Wallace, who's getting stuck in. David Buki is in behind as well. By my reckoning, David Buki's 40th start in this competition, and possibly the same for Tim Evans. But I'm sure they're not too worried about that. It's Martin DL in the number 4 in the mix as well. So some really good mid-order battles, fairly settled up front still, with Daniel Reason still in front in this race. The pole position man making the most of that advantage from qualifying. Mark Grice was second on the grid, Lewis Rose was third. Jason Ballantyne will be making places made as well, because he's up with the front runners and started in 12th position on the grid, and we saw him involved, well not involved, but diving down the inside of Chris Coomer's move earlier on as well. So he'll be coming up the order for sure as we stay with this group, which is sporting a very keen battle at the moment. There is Martin DL, and chased by, well, we were talking about Chris Coomer. He has recovered pretty well, Chris Coomer, and still in that mix. The man who was third in Class A back in 2016. Single class championship last year. Lee Deegan winning from Mark Grice and Daniel Reason, as we said. And I was pleased to see 2015 champion Adam Shepherd moving up into the Ginetta GT4 Super Cup, and a bit of bodywork flying off there as well. So David Buki and everybody making it through. I wonder if the marshals will go out and retrieve that. Potential to maybe puncture a tyre. We'll see whether that does get retrieved as the race continues on here. So Mark Grice goes through and out of shot. Grice running in third place, and this is the battle for 4th position. Jason Ballantyne, Matt Bolton and Rob Baker in blue, so a trio of them all dicing it out. And Ballantyne, last year's top rookie, looking to move further up the order, but this the battle for the first place outside the podium. Really good battle going on here, with Baker all over the back of Matt Bolton in the black car as they go across the line once again. Grice, remember, still the man in third place. Lewis Rose up to second now, and it's still Daniel Reason, but who is leading the race. But Mark Grice and the rest of the conditions getting slightly better. The rain has abated, and the conditions and the lap times are coming down a little bit. There is the man in third place, Mark Grice, and you can see Lewis Rose up ahead of him with a decent gap at the moment. So here's the race leader going out of shot. 77 Daniel Reason. Lewis Rose is next. Lewis 12th in the championship last year, won on Anglesey, which is where we have our next round, the last weekend of April. And then this three-way scrap for 4th position. So just to give you the context of how the battles are unfolding. Now Matt Bolton, behind Ballantyne, will have made up 1 place on his start. Rob Baker, if he finishes there, will have made up 3 positions on his start. So drivers are making progress. And then we've got Daniel Hobson in behind as well. So Hobson in the blue and yellow car has come through and made up 4 places. Paul Bancroft behind him has made up fair few number of places as well. So there's going to be a lot of drivers who are going to be relatively happy with their opening gambit for the season. There goes Hobson through. And coming towards us now, the 53 car of Paul Bancroft. Then Tim Evans. I mentioned Tim as a prolific starter in the championship as well. Race winner back in, podium finisher back in 2014, and had podia as well in the 2016 season as well, outright podia. The best last year of 5th place as we rejoin Chris Coomer getting stuck in and trying to recover. You can see the green flags being waved there. That errant piece of bodywork is still there as well. Simon Wallace going through, and then the 52 car of Will Beach, and Coomer trying to close down on Martin DL in the number 4. We'll see whether he can do that before the end of the race. We are in towards the closing stages of this opening round of the year, and it does look like Daniel Reason is going to take the opening win of the season. DL working hard, trying to close in on Andy Hart there in the 133 car. 27 car Bruce Winfield in that mix as well. We saw him in the opening lap skirmish. We're now onto the last lap, and I can tell you that on the penultimate lap, new fastest lap of the race has gone to Mark Grice, a 1 minute 11.627, so he's got the fastest lap of the race. He's back in third, but the race leader is Daniel Reason, who makes his way through Luffield out into Woodcote, and he's going to take the checkered flag. He's chasing down Craig Carter there in the 83 car. Craig running in 23rd place, but watch for the checkered flag, and it is a win for Daniel Reason. Reason takes it round about 4 seconds behind is Lewis Rose in second place. Mark Grice is third. There is Rose across the line. Let's wait for Gricey to go across the line. There he is, completing the outright podium. Jason Ballantyne next from Matt Bolton and Rob Baker. Daniel Hobson 7th from Paul Bancroft, Tim Evans and Mark Gibbons. 11th place goes to Dan Chapman from Simon Wallace and Will Beach. David Bukey, Andy Hart 15th from Chris Coomer and Bruce Winfield. Oliver Barsby next from Mark Hughes and Oliver Withington in 20th place. Adam Kruger next from Ben Sharp. Craig Carter, Rob Headley and David Poyser complete the finishes, and confirmation of fastest lap for Mark Grice.
Well, Dan Reason, what a cracking way to start the season. Pole position and a race victory. It wasn't quite as straightforward as that at the start though, was it?
No, I had a bad start. I missed the lights almost by maybe a second, and then hooked it up thankfully after that. Led the first couple of laps. Mark was all over me, both sides, down the straight. Seemed to get a run out of onto the back straight every time. But he made a little mistake, which gave me a couple of seconds. I felt comfortable at that point. And then he came out of the first corner, crossed up completely and dropped back. So after that, it was just a case of sort of slowing down, taking it nice and easy, don't make any stupid mistakes.
And it was tricky conditions throughout, but hopefully for race 2 things might be a little bit easier.
Yeah, race 2 tomorrow, we might even get some dry conditions, although I do like the wet, so pray for rain I suppose.
Well, congratulations, great start to the season, hopefully 2 out of 2 next time.
Yeah, let's hope, thank you.
There's Rose, great fight to second position, wasn't very easy
Thank
at the
you,
start
yeah.
to keep up with them all.
Well, yeah, it's a bit tricky with the double wave yellows we had on the pit straight, I think on lap 1, where no one was really sure how far they wanted to back off. I backed off quite a lot, lost a bit of time to the front 2, but I mean, ultimately they had a lot more pace than me anyway, so it's just a case of holding position. And obviously the first lap carnage that we had as well, someone going up the inside of me, locking up. I went from 5th to 3rd in one corner, so this is the way it goes sometimes. But chuffed to bits with that, because at the point where I'm in 3rd, the guys in front of me, I'm not really catching them. I'm sort of praying for a mistake, and that's exactly what happened with Mark, so over the moon.
It's an incredibly close championship grid. I mean, you guys will be fighting for another victory in the second race. Do you think you can overhaul Dan this time?
Yeah, it's tricky though, because there's a lot of quick guys in this championship, so we do a reverse top 10 in the Civic Cup, so I'll be starting 9th. There's a lot of cars to pick your way through. Let's see how it goes.
Well, good luck and fantastic start to the season.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Mark Grice, that was a pretty interesting battle all the way through. You almost had the victory at one point.
Yes, it was very close early on, and I was pushing a little bit, and then I was in a lot of spray from Dan, so I just backed back a little bit, and because I made a bit of a mistake, and then whilst pushing again, decided to do my usual thing and go sideways, which I should realise by now isn't fast.
Well, of course, tomorrow you've got the reverse grid race to come, and so you'll start ahead of those two. A good start, and it could be yours.
Yes, it'll be interesting trying to, with the rest of them, you know, because it's not easy to pass. We're all got equal machines, really, so to try and pass is very, very hard. But we'll give it a go, and I'm sure one of us, or we'll both follow each other through, or one of us will follow someone. So hopefully get back up to the front.
Well, we can't wait to see how it plays up. Good luck for race 2.
Thank you very much.